might say something that they don't want to say. Well, it's not going to be that difficult. I'm going to ask you questions. I will say this. A lot of the questions I'll ask you, the easiest thing to do, and these veterans are doing this, so I think they'll back me up on this. Sometimes the easiest questions to answer is if you answer them first. You say, how could that be? Well, I will get to one question. I know for sure that it's always easiest if you answer it first, because if you don't answer it first, somebody else will take your answer. So, you can kind of think about that. First thing I'm going to ask you to do, I want you each to introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself, grade in school, who your parents are, just some basic information. Yeah, you might want to check your notes there. This one young lady, she's awful nervous about doing this, so she's checking her notes to make sure who her family is. I won't tell you which girl's doing that. I'll just leave it at that. So just tell folks a little bit about yourself so they have an idea who you are, where you come from, that kind of thing. Who wants to start? We can start either side. All right.
Hey, I'm Dawson Mock. I'm a sophomore at Salem High School, and my mom is Heidi Mock, and my dad is Scott Norris.
I'm Kyler Strickland. I'm a sophomore. My parents are Stephen and Miriam Strickland.
All right, now for the ones that really have to share the mic, those guys just demonstrate exactly how to handle the microphone. You grab it by the stand and just move it, and, about that distance. All right, go ahead.
I'm Kennedy Schneider. I'm a freshman, and my parents are Carrie and Brandon Schneider.
I'm Kennedy Major. I'm a freshman, and my parents are Nancy and Donnie Major.
Hi, my name is Elena Ferguson. I'm a sophomore, and my parents' name is Misty and Ed Ferguson.
Hi, I'm Austin Brown, and my parents are Justin Brown and Danielle Reed.
Hi, I'm Cody Parsons. I'm a 9th grader. My parents are Tim and Monica Parsons.
Okay. Now, not all of you remember to tell what grade you were. I caught that, but that's okay. We won't hold it against you. The easiest question for me to start with, for you to answer, and this is one that I was really alluding to when I said sometimes the easiest answer is to be the first person to answer. What's been your favorite activity in Ag and FFA? That's always a good icebreaker, place to start. So who would like to answer that first?
I'll answer it.
All right, Elena, go ahead. Scoot it just a little closer, but be careful not to scoot it too far and pull our cable. Go ahead.
My favorite activity was probably beef days.
And why?
Because just seeing all the little kids come out and wanting to learn more about ag and agricultural.
Okay, very good. And that's lots of times that's the first activity that's mentioned. It's usually be that. I won't tell you the other one because maybe somebody will think of it. Skyler?
I thought of Wardak Farms was pretty interesting.
That was the second one I was going to mention. Now, what made it interesting? You got to share a
There's
little
just
bit about
lots
why.
of different activities to do.
Okay, like?
You can put your hand in a cow's stomach. That's
Sure
pretty.
could.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of something you don't get the opportunity to do every day,
Yep.
do you?
Yep.
Even if you're on a
A
farm.
lot of people skip that, but I done it.
You did it. All right. You're a veteran of
Oh, yeah.
putting a sleeve on, inserting your arm inside the rumen of a cow.
I AI cows too. So I mean.
You do AI?
Yep.
You're an AI technician?
Yep. Certified.
Now, there's lots of laughs, so I'm not sure. I guess I'll believe him, but I don't know for sure.
I'll bring you my papers.
All right, I believe you now. If you got papers produced, then you must be there. All right, good job. Somebody else, a different activity that you've really enjoyed. Dawson?
I enjoyed the ice cream social because it was a kind of like a way to kick off the year. It was we got to introduce ourselves as the officer team and kind of show what the newcomers, what all FFA was about.
Yeah, these beginners got to find out who the officers
Yeah.
were, and it's a great mixer. And I heard somebody say, "Oh, I was going to say that." I told you, the quicker you volunteer to answer a question, the more likely you are to get to say the particular activity you want to share. All right, got another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Timber Days was the funnest part that I've done because you get to see all the people that you recognize and you get to be able to see all the different.
Whether Austin, I don't know whether that's how well that was picking up. Might just go through that a little bit again. You like Timber Days, huh?
Yeah, Timber Days. You had many different activities there that pertain to the forest industry around Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. And y'all were out to Commons to
Yeah.
watch some of the events and activities out there. All right, anybody else want to share what's been, what you thought? And it doesn't have to be, it can be any activity. Nobody? Okay, they're all deep in thought, and then one is regretful that somebody got the activity that she would have said, but she just waited a little too long. Oh, well, I won't tell you her name, but I know her initials are Kennedy, so anyway. Now you got to figure out which Kennedy it was. I won't tell that, girls. Is that fair? That's fair? All right. I won't totally rat you out. What have you found to be the most challenging most challenging activity in ag education and FFA? All right, Kennedy majors, you might mention what you just signaled to me. Turn that microphone around there and tell us what you're talking about.
This has definitely been the most challenging because I'm really nervous.
You're really nervous. And you don't like talking in front of a group. You don't like talking well, there's nobody here but your friends. Still, it's scary, huh? Nerve-wracking. But it's one of the skills that's probably the most valuable that you do in ag education FFA. You're not the shyest person here, the one that would least like to get up and talk in front of a group. But anyway, I won't tell who I looked at. But sometimes you have to get into activities that make you get outside your comfort zone. And that's what this will do. First year members here, what was the first, you say this is most difficult. I think you had to do a very difficult task at the beginning of the year too. Think back.
Saying the creed?
Here's your opportunity, Kennedy. Turn the key.
I think saying the creed was probably one of the hardest because it takes a lot to memorize the whole thing. It took me a while.
It takes work.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen because but it's such a valuable learning experience too, for two reasons, I think. One, my gosh, there's not much more difficult than getting up in front of some folks. Half that room was strangers, or more than half, when you had to get up and do that because you really weren't acclimated into your class yet, were you? Because this is right at the beginning of school year, right? That you had to do the creed. Yeah. So you really don't know the rest of your classmates that well. You know, you all came, as ninth graders, you came from 5 different schools. So now you're in a group here where you've got some of those folks that you looked at kind of cross-eyed back when you were in middle school. Now they're becoming, of course, you're here long enough now that they're starting to become maybe actually some friends and folks you communicate with. But having to get up in front of that group, having to put in the work, and then the other thing, did you really read? Did you really study the creed and what's in it? Some of them were looking at me like, no, I just memorized. Well, some of these days, now that you don't have to really study it, go back and just read it and think about the meaning in the words. You know, that's what I'm trying to encourage you to think about doing. Just go back and kind of say, okay, what does that mean, that phrase in there? I'm trying to think of one of the ones that, leadership from ourselves and respect from others. That's a phrase in that. And what is that? And their heads, several of the heads are bobbing up and down, which you can't see on the radio, obviously, but they're agreeing with me. There's some tremendous meanings in that particular phrase and lots of other phrases in the FFA Creed. So to me, there's at least 2 very valuable reasons for that creed to be recited there in front of your classmates. Anybody else? Another very challenging, difficult, what you found challenging and difficult? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. I'm glad to find 7 students that didn't find the record book challenging. I am really.
Hasn't started it completely yet.
Oh, you haven't started it completely yet. Well, no wonder it wouldn't be very challenging yet. Okay. Well, you see these veterans, they'll say, Creed was very challenging. All right, let's Let's turn our attention to sharing with our listeners what your supervised agriculture experience is. That's always one thing that we deal with because folks need to know what all you're involved in. I think sometimes they get some real surprises about how diversified students are with their SAE program. So I don't care where we start with that. Whoever would like to start with their explaining their SAE program.
You can do that.
Dawson says she'll do that. Austin, excuse me. Excuse me, Austin. Dawson's over there. He's forgiven me, I think. Austin, go ahead,
Alright.
please.
So,
There you go.
my supervised agricultural experience is chickens. I deal with chickens such as feeding them and making sure they don't have a disease or some kind of messed up, I can't think.
Just make sure they have good health.
Yeah, good health.
Now, you have
And-
layers or broilers or both? Or
Layers.
okay.
You gotta make sure they don't, get sick because then it could get to the rest of the flock and
Mhm.
you would be,
We have a microphone problem here. It keeps wanting to, maybe that'll help it right there.
you just gotta make sure that you have medicine in their water and stuff. So
Okay.
make sure their food's not wrong for what you're needing them for.
Just part of the aspect of raising some animals. All right. So is that the extent of your
Yeah,
essay?
I don't.
That's all right. All right. Someone else. What's your essay?
I'll go.
Kennedy?
I actually grow and sell Italian oyster mushrooms. I have a barn that I take the spawn and the straw and I bag them and I hang them up in a room and I take care of them every week and I pick them and I sell them. I've actually sold to businesses and just to people who wanted to try them. And
Okay. A unique enterprise. Not a lot of people do that, but something that shows the variety of agriculture. All right. Who else? Y'all got to share what your SAE is. Dawson?
Yeah, I work for Salem City Parks and Rec, and I work at Bigo's Mexican Restaurant. That's about it.
Okay, working in the food industry and then working in the recreation industry. Yeah. You work with Ty Lydon?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
He's my boss.
He is.
Yeah.
Poor Ty. Or poor Dawson, one or the other. I'm not sure which.
Probably both.
All right, someone else.
My SAE is raising Black Angus cattle.
Yeah, you're the AI technician. I remember
Yep.
that. So, all right. Do you own some yourself?
Yeah, I got a cow and a calf.
Okay, excellent. All right. Who else? We still got 3 to go, sharing their SAEs. Come on.
My SAE is cattle, pretty much.
Okay. Just cattle in general,
Yeah, well,
or more specifically, cows and calves, or
cows and calves,
oh,
and most of them are Black Angus.
okay.
But we've got a couple different ones in there too.
Hey, variety of
Yep.
cattle colors. It's not a big deal. All right, very good, Kennedy. Thank you. All right, who we still got?
My SAE is chickens, and I just make sure they're doing okay. Just make sure the fence is good. I sell eggs quite often.
Okay. Anything else part of your SAE?
Hopefully getting cattle here soon. And
Get some fence built, right?
yeah.
Got to tear some out first. So anyway, Elena, I think we're to you.
My my SAE is working at Barnes Lodging for my grandma. I clean houses, and then starting next month, I will be working on my other SAE, which is showing a hog at the expo this summer.
Okay, good. A variety of SAE enterprises again. Few with beef cattle, some with other things. I think the Kennedy's with the mushrooms is probably one of the most unique ones we've had in a while as part of the Salem FFA. And I'm not just talking about this morning during this group, but I don't remember anybody raising mushrooms as part of their SAE previously. even though we got some first-year members, I'm going to turn my attention and see if by chance any of these folks, even with the first-year members, are involved in any career development events. Are you on any contest teams? Anybody?
We all are.
Yeah, that's 4.
All right, these 4 all on the same team.
Yes, we are.
Oh my, this could be a good thing. This could be a all right.
No.
Who wants to tell us
I'll
about it?
tell about it. This year we all decided to do entomology. We're judging bugs, basically.
Right.
Different kinds of insects and stuff. And last year I did poultry, and then I decided to do something different this year with entomology.
Okay. And the 4 there that Dawson's talking about are Dawson and Schuyler and Kennedy. So,
No S.
oh,
You'll get it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Kyler,
Yep.
no S.
There you go.
Forgive me.
Okay.
See, and when this group come in, these 2 veterans, Dawson and Kyler, said to me we'd have no name tags today because they remember last year that I had name place cards for them, so I wouldn't get messed up on their names. Well, this year I didn't get the names till 4 o'clock this morning, so I didn't get them made up. So I'm trying to work strictly off of memory, and that's kind of got some problems sometimes. You know, at my age, I have a right to have a little memory problem now and then. Not totally, but I got Kyler now. Maybe if I mess up again, please forgive me. It was not intentional. All right. Anybody else? 3 over here. Not involved in any contest teams. Oh, Elena is. All right. Go ahead.
This year, I decided to be on the poultry team and the dairy cattle team.
You decided just to go for a big load of contest teams. Okay. Well, good luck to all of you. Study hard. You'll probably never study enough. And you say, boy, that's kind of a downer to say it that way. Well, when you get to your first practice, have you had a practice competition yet?
Yes, we have.
You have?
Well, not competition.
All right. Working out here, having practices is different than going to that competition. When you get that first competition and you finish, one of 2 things happens, okay? You finish it second from the top. So then what does your mindset get to be?
You want to be
You're
first.
doing good. We don't have, what?
You don't need to study.
Kyler nailed where I was going. Yeah, we don't need to study anymore. We got it figured out. And I'm sorry to say, many times that is the attitude that creeps into the brain when we do well in our first few competitions. And they're practice competitions, so it's not a tremendous big deal unless you get that particular mindset that, oh, I've got it all under control. We don't have to work hard. So now I'm preaching to the 4 of you. Since you're all here, is there anyone, just you 4 on this entomology team?
Yes.
All right, so I'm preaching to the 4 on the entomology team. Don't get that in your head if you go do very well. Likewise, if you finish second from the bottom, don't give up. Don't give up, okay? Never accomplish anything positive by giving up. You got to keep striving. Was it easy to get that AI technician certification?
Not really. There's a lot of work to it.
There is. And so if you're going to achieve it, you got to work whatever it is, whether it's all the way from entomology to artificial insemination. All right, let me see what else we got. Everybody get a chance that's involved in a contest team. I don't think, Dawson,
Actually,
you're what?
I'm in poultry.
You're in poultry also with Elena. Okay.
Yes.
What have you done so far on poultry, girls?
We haven't really done much yet
Okay.
because we've had a lot of snow days.
The snow days, couple of vacation days, they all kind of interfere with getting that.
So we haven't really got like a actual practice in yet.
Okay. Well, the last guy over here is just hoping I don't say anything to him about contest teams, so I won't. It's terrible to have family in your interview, isn't it? All right. Let's talk about future plans. And since this group we have so many first-year students, and even the veterans here are not, they haven't been in ag very long. Did you all say sophomores?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're just kind of getting we got our feet wet, but we don't have the stuff up to our knees yet. what's your future plans yet in high school? What do you want to accomplish yet as you go through high school? Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's a tough question. Now, this one could be relative to Ag and FFA, or it could just be, whatever. Who wants to go? Kyler, Dawson, either one.
Yeah, I plan on going to college after high school and maybe getting a degree in health science and becoming an athletic trainer and physical therapist.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Kyler?
I plan on just maintaining good grades and going to college and get a degree to be a vet.
Okay. Degree in vet medicine. All right. Anybody else future plans?
After high school, I'm hoping to go to college and, as Kyler said before, get a master in vet science.
Okay. Lots of hard work ahead of you guys in that particular area. Anyone else? Go ahead, Cody.
I plan on studying science and mathematics to go to lineman school and be an electrician.
Okay. Cool. And I know that's been a goal of Cody's for quite a while, to go that route. You got to have those goals for after school, after high school. That's good. And so many of them. Got several yet. Y'all got goals and objectives yet? High school or after high school?
I plan to maintain good grades and after high school go to college to become a zoologist.
Zoologist. Work with animals. Just study. Know everything there is to know about animals. Okay. Good deal. Still got a couple to go.
After high school, I plan on going to college at Truman State University to get my master's in education, and then hopefully later back and come teach here in Salem.
Okay. Good. Going to go to school at the coldest place in the state of Missouri. You didn't know that? It is. Kirksville, Missouri is about the coldest place in the state of Missouri.
I'm still not really sure, what I want to do, but for sure get good grades and graduate. But I want to do something in the medical field.
Okay, very good. And I think that kind of comes down the line from Mom, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yes, it does.
Mom's a nurse, right?
Yep.
Okay. So these guys all have goals. I think they've all shared some of their goals, most of them about after high school. Anybody plan to run for an office?
Yep.
I apologize, Dawson. And you mentioned a while ago, you're going to run, Kyler, you're going to run for an office this time?
Yep, I'm going to run again this year.
Okay.
Try to.
You might make it this time.
Hopefully.
One thing for sure, you don't run, you don't make it.
Yep.
Dawson, would you share a little bit about being an officer? You had
Sure.
mentioned it a while ago as part of Ice Cream Social. What office do you serve in?
Oh, I am the assistant parliamentarian. So it's a good time. It's you learn a lot more. You get more opportunities to do more things. This summer we went to different conferences and stuff. Went to the lead conference in Raleigh, and that was a good time. The only downside is you have to wake up at earlier Mondays and have meetings, but that's about it. Sometimes Howard brings you breakfast, but that's about it.
But you knew going in you was going to have to do that, right?
Yeah,
That
I
was
knew.
part of the responsibilities. And,
Yeah, more responsibilities.
And this is, if you want to expand your skills and abilities in an area that's maybe not a specific quantitative area like learning more about poultry or cattle or whatever, that's one of the ways to do it is by getting involved in, because I'm sure there's been opportunities. In fact, Dawson, I think, alluded to some of the opportunities it's provided him by being an officer that he wouldn't have had otherwise. So to all of you, every one of you that's here on this program, I encourage you, think about that. Don't put it off too long because that's another thing. Your high school years going to take forever to get here, but they'll be over before you know it.
It's been a really good opportunity. I'd recommend it to anybody if they want to run.
I usually, and maybe this should have been a question at the very beginning, I should have asked, why did you decide to enroll in ag education? Let's start wherever. Cody, you're going to go first?
Yes. I really wanted to learn about animal science and plant science, learn more things about it. And I wanted to meet new people in FFA, going to conventions and stuff like that.
Okay. You heard about some of those things and you wanted to get involved in. All right, very good. Somebody else. Why did you decide to enroll? Okay.
Well, I just wanted to expand my knowledge more, and I figured it'd help me in the long run to understand the concept of having animals and helping the environment.
Okay. Very good. Other reasons? Kyler.
Just about the same thing they said. Meet new people and learn different stuff.
You definitely get the opportunity to meet new
Yep.
people.
Lots of things you go to.
I think, did somebody mention the barn warming as being one
Yep.
of their activities they really enjoyed?
Yep.
I think the wrap-up dance is coming tonight.
That's tonight in
Tonight
Raleigh.
in Rolla. Again, another opportunity. Activities you have with other chapters are always a plus. Again, opportunity. Make new friends.
Right.
Expand that pool of friends that you've got. All right, I'm trying to think. Did we get that one fully dealt with? No, there's some of you. Why'd you enroll? Some of you. Why did you?
I enrolled in FFA because I've been showing livestock in 4-H ever since I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been waiting for this for a long time, waiting to meet new people and have new opportunities.
All right, excellent. Some of the rest of you that have. Why'd you enroll? Different. Anybody different? That's for sure one of the things.
I mostly just did it because you always hear good stuff about it, and there's always fun activities to do, and like the opportunity to learn new things. It's always hear fun stuff about FFA.
Did you hear what you just said? The very first thing she said, well, I think was really kind of significant. You always hear good things about it. And I think that's pretty well right. Last night was a good example of it. Tremendous crowd showed up for the FFA alumni labor auction and dessert auction. Proceeds totaled over $6,000. I don't know whether you're aware of that yet or not. In fact, closer to $6,500. Just an awesome bit of support from the community. And when we talk about support from our community, we also need to be sure and recognize supporters in Dent County that have paid money, basically, to advertise on KSMO's open market, not open market, that's something I used to, on KSMO's FFA Day here with FFA members. And one of our participants today, and these guys have done a tremendous job. I know they were very nervous to start with, but going back, I'll probably ask them if it was as bad as they thought it will be. And all right, Kennedy's already asked. In fact, both Kennedys kind of shaking their head. No, it wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be. But we want to be sure and recognize the advertisers that made this day on KSMO possible. I'm asking Dawson if he would share a list or some of our advertisers. We're going to share different segments of the advertising list throughout the day. I know a flyer went out in Your World Today noting who all was supporting FFA Day on KSMO. So Dawson, if you'd share that list at this time, please.
All right, we got Shelter Insurance, Mowbray Dump Trunk Service, Country Fish Farm, J&R Guns Camo Chick, Victory Heating and Cooling, Town and Country Bank, Hubs Tire Center, Mary's Valley Processing, and Vandervoort Drug.
All right, very good. And my thanks to these 7 FFA members for an excellent job today. I'm going to just hesitate a moment here as Stan moves back towards the control board, and I'm going to send this back to Stan at this point. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bob. At KSM Radio 1340, we appreciate the efforts of Group 3 of our FFA Day right here on KSMO Radio 1340. It's 1029, and we hope you're enjoying our group efforts for FFA Day. I'll appreciate that. Hour 4 will be in shortly. We'll have that group in just a few minutes. Right now, though, at KSMO Radio 1340, we're going to get ready for the Brownfield Opening Livestock and Grain Report, brought to you as a courtesy of Fairground Auto Plaza, driven to serve you best. Corner Fairgrounds on the Kings Highway. Go on by. Visit today at Fairground Auto Plaza, your heart of Missouri. GMC Truck, Buick, Cadillac, and Chevy dealer where Chevy finds new roads. Now that Brownfield Livestock Report.
Cash hog business on Friday is expected to at least have a lower undertone. I'm John Perkins with a Brown.